Okay, so we're going to begin our review of the Thai massage section we learned last Saturday. So we begin, the receiver begins in child's pose, so Gay will come into child's pose, and as the giver, I'll be at the bottom end here. And there's two or many variations of it's your preference. You can come into a kneeling position to give a sacral press, or you can stand with bent knees wide if that feels better for your back or your knees. And we're going to press into Gay's sacrum, just give her some weight. So you come down below the low back, and we press down and lengthen the low back. Good? And then we begin to walk up either side of the spine. So the heels of the hands don't come into contact with the spine. We walk up side to side, giving gentle pressure outward as we move up. And this one, it may be a little easier as you get higher to stand and bend your knees. So we go all the way up to the shoulders, rocking side to side with gentle pressure, pushing away or out from the spine. We walk up and then we walk back. And then we come to either side. And we're going to place our heels of our hands now right on her spine, gently. And then press down gently and away. So we're lengthening the spine here. And we'll do that 3 times. So nice, gentle pressure. Is that enough pressure? Mm-hmm. Okay. So just asking the partner if that's good, if they want more pressure or less. And then we rise and we come into a seat-to-seat position. So I'm going to bring my sacrum to Gay's sacrum. And then I'm going to lie back. And the back of my head is going to come into that nice sweet soft spot at the back of her neck. So it's custom fit. And then I'm going to bring my hands out to either side and place the fingertips face down if I want to lift my legs. Is that comfortable? Mm-hmm. So you can stay with your hands palms up for a nice chest opening, or if you want to lift the legs, you turn the palms face down using your fingertips to support you. I bring one knee up, and then the other knee, and now I'm balanced on her spine, and then I can extend my legs up. I'm just working the balance. I can let my legs open out into wide angle. Bring the legs back together, gently bending the knees. And then 1 foot at a time, I come down gently, gracefully. And then I place my hands at either side, just below my waist, onto Gay to help me come up. I'm going to give gentle pressure right in about her kidneys and help myself come up. And then Gay rises. And then we would switch positions.
And we're going to go right into the second part of our flow. I'm going to have Dawn lay down for the prana massage. And I'm going to walk around to the head into her. And I'm going to start down on the ground near her head in a comfortable position. I want to be able to slide my hands under her back and on either side of her spine. So on the fleshy part on the 2 sides of the spine, I'm going to smooth the flesh back to her bulbous part of her head, her occiput. And notice I'm giving her a little traction. So I'm just pulling the head in the direction of the spine to give the neck a little traction. I'm going to pull the hair on her scalp really gently just to kind of wake up the scalp on here. And then I'm going to bring my feet into place, putting the arch of my foot right over her shoulders. And I'm going to gently rock one shoulder down and then the other. And I'm feeling some resistance, so I'm not pushing farther than her body wants to go. Just working with what I feel in my feet. Get up and walk around to her waist. Notice that her arms are nice and wide, so there's space for me to step in between her body and her arms. I'm going to reach down. I'm crossing over with my arm, reaching down, lift her arm, and she's going to be kind of like a sack of potatoes. She can just kind of play dead here. And I'm going to lift her by the arm. So I want to make sure I don't have her arm too high. That would become hard on the shoulder. So notice I'm crossing her at a diagonal until her shoulder lifts off the ground, and I'm going to squeeze the flesh under her shoulder blade down and gently put her arm down with the palm up. So I just kind of rolled her shoulder blade up. I'll do the same with the other arm. As I do this, I'm bending my knees to make sure that I'm not straining my back. Now I'm going to walk down a little farther and find her hip bone, which is fairly easy to find. There's a 2 points sticking up. I'm going to give her a very gentle pressure down through the hip bone. And then I'm going to come up and find her floating rib. It's the bottom of her rib cage. And again, give her a gentle pressure there. These are considered the 3 trauma points. The shoulders, which I'm doing now, the hip, and the floating rib. So I'm going to walk back to her feet. And I'm going to bring my body weight down, and I'm going to flutter my hands down to the side, as if they're birds, and make contact with her feet. And I'm going to rock my whole body weight from side to side as I walk up the soles of her feet, up toward her toes. And again, I'm feeling the resistance in her legs to make sure I'm not pressing too far. And then I'll walk back down to her heels again. I'm going to move in a little closer, and I'm going to work her lower leg by finding that place between her shin bone and the fleshy part of her thigh. I'm just going to use kind of karate chop hands to gently walk up in that region. That can be kind of sensitive, so you don't want to overdo it. Now I'm going to make claw fingertips around her kneecaps and massage her kneecaps. So I'm not right on the kneecap, but I'm all around it. Yeah. And next I'm going to move up to her thighs, and right above the knee we found that that's a fairly sensitive place. I'm going to wrap my hands around the outside of her thigh, and essentially I'm rolling her legs in. I'm stacking the flesh of the thigh right over the bone, and I'm going to press into that mass. So I'm going to do that 3 times, moving up her thigh gradually. And then I'll stand up. Again, I'm going to take care of my back by bending my knees. I'm going to grasp her ankles and lift her legs. Bring myself into a comfortable position. I'm going to give her a little rock on the sacrum. And then we'll start to lengthen her hamstrings as I bring her feet up. And again, I'm just feeling for that resistance point. I'm going to fold my forearms right on her feet and give her more of a calf stretch by pressing down into the balls of the feet. How's that feel, partner? Great. I'm going to open her legs and use my knees to help direct her knees outward to come into bus driver. And keeping my shins in contact with the back of her legs, I can make her legs move like a big steering wheel. Kind of opening the areas of her pelvic girdle.
It's pretty good for the tissue or the
oh, yeah.
The groin.
It's good for the lymph tissue in the groin. To lengthen her legs, I want to make sure I have her legs upright over her body. I'm going to step back. I'm going to step 1 foot in closely, but not too closely, and put her feet behind me. And I'll come into a nice long body extension with a little bit of a back bend. Straight feet. Is help creating space in the joints of her hips. So I'm going to gently bring her feet down. Again, I'm being careful about my back.
and with my torso. Cross my ankles and with
Oh,
my
oh,
torso.
oh, yes, my partner is reminding me of something I forgot. So when I have her out there, I'm going to bring her into a cross-legged pose. Her shins are supported on mine, and I'm lifting her up. She's responsible for her head in this pose, so she tucks her chin. And down. And again, we're doing this a little faster than you might do this at home, but we wanted to remind you of all the pieces. And I'm recrossing her legs. Her shins against mine. She can lift on an inhale. And I'm taking care of my back too. Gently put her down. And now I'm going to extend her legs again. And again, I'm leaving her feet right over her hips as I extend her legs so her knees don't bend. I'm going to end the way I started, just kind of rocking side to side on her feet. You can add lengthening the top of the foot or pressing the toes down, and lengthening the bottom of the foot by pressing the toes up. And the final movement is 3 energetic strokes down the legs. And you can imagine that you're drawing anything that your partner is ready to let go of and helping move it outside her body. Alright, so that concludes our review of week 2.